Hi, everybody, welcome back to Ox Talks. It's Thursday, June 27th, 2024. First and foremost, I appreciate each and every one of you being here, watching the shows, being a supporter and a subscriber to the channel. It means a lot to me. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. And most importantly, share these videos with as many of your family, friends, coworkers, and colleagues as you can of all age groups, please, so we can continue to get the word out as to what is unfolding in this economy. Before I jump into a few stories I want to share with you today, I first want to go on a little bit of a tangent. And there was a comment in my video yesterday from a subscriber, and one of the portions of his comment was that the doors that he has closed the ark doors. He has closed the doors to his ark. And I responded and thought that was a phenomenal way to put it. But it got me thinking, obviously we all, hopefully if you're watching this channel, others like this channel, you are preparing. You're preparing financially. You're preparing from a perspective of having food and water and medical supplies and security, cash on hand, working on paying down debt, working on your physical fitness, all these things that we discuss repeatedly on this channel. So that goes without saying, everyone should be doing that. But we all know, and probably many more than you'd like to admit, that are in your lives are probably not doing this, right? And they're sitting back and they're watching you. Maybe they're mocking you, maybe they're not, but they're watching you. And the expectation, and trust me, comment below, you can feel it. The ones that don't outright say it, you can still feel that they're just, let's say, relying on the fact or banking on the fact that if something bad happens, they're simply going to come over to your house, knock on your door, and ask you to help them, ask you to help provide security for their family and them, ask for some food and some water and extra supplies, right? I have friends that have outwardly said, oh, we'll just go over to Matt's place. It's unbelievable. So we talk about the concept of, when do you close the doors to your ark? And so, we all build the best situation we can for ourselves and our families, prepping and doing all these things and being prudent. And that also makes prudent decisions on not spending money that we otherwise shouldn't be spending, while others around us are out spending frivolously, not a care in the world. So when do you shut those people out? When do you theoretically, or metaphorically speaking, shut the doors to your ark, right? Noah wanted to help as many as possible. Obviously, did everybody heed that warning? Did everybody get on the ark? Did everybody take proper precautions? Absolutely not. So those of you that are in your life that are not doing this, you're going to have to make that individual determination for yourself. And let me share with you, take it a step further. How about those in your life that are not just sitting back watching you prepare and watching you make the sacrifices, banking on the fact that they're going to tap into your resources, they think, when the time comes? How about the ones that are just basically outwardly and outright taking advantage of you? Comment below. I'll share a story with you. I have a client of mine who's been a longtime friend. I can't go into too much of the details. It's an active matter, but the bottom line is I've been representing him on a fairly complicated real estate litigation case for some time now, meaning it's not just transactional, it's actually an ongoing case that we filed on his behalf. He's the plaintiff, and this case has been going on now for probably the better part of about 3 years. When he initially asked me to help him out with the case, it was supposed to be a very quick situation where it's going to get resolved. Parties would come to the table and there'd be a resolution. He needed help doing it. There was a time crunch, as I recall. And so there's a whole song and dance about how he needed my help. And so I did that for him. Here we are, fast forward almost 3 years later, and he has, from my perspective, taken advantage of me, taken advantage of our friendship, has taken advantage of my legal services and my knowledge. And so what I have done in the last couple of days is I have filed a motion to be relieved as counsel in that case? Is it going to bring the so-called friendship to an end? It most likely will, because I feel that at every turn, and I have repeatedly brought this to his attention, my feelings about this and the way it was going, and I just don't feel like it's been taken seriously, right? Similar to you telling people in your life, if they don't make sacrifices and prepare, that you're not going to be there for them when it's necessary that they have these things in place. So I have decided to close the door to my arc, to this person, and that's it. It's unfortunate because we do have family histories, but it is what it is. You get to a point where you have to make a decision that you're not going to be taken advantage of anymore. So I appreciate that one subscriber that left the comment. I was going to print it out and share his name, and maybe I'll do that tomorrow just to give him credit. But you're going to have to decide, when are the doors to your arc going to be closed? And obviously, it's probably going to be a case by case. Given the relationship, given how close this person is to the family, are they family? What other attributes, positive or negative, have they exhibited in the past that would lead you to make that determination one way or the other? So it's not an easy one, I understand, but this one was an easy call for me. I just finally decided that it's done. So let me know if you have similar experiences. I'm sure you all do. Feel free to comment and share below. Let me jump into, and by the way, I'm going to upload this video earlier than usual today. I'm recording it a couple hours earlier than usual because we have the debates tonight. Whether you're going to watch it or not is up to you. I'm not weighing in on that. I'm just saying that I'm sure there's going to be a lot of attention focused on that tonight and comments and what happened. So I wanted to share some stuff with you before this craziness unfolds here in a few more hours. A few of the articles I saw today. First, tomorrow we have a key inflation set of data coming out, the PCE report, which is the Personal Consumption Expenditures Index, PCE. It's one of the, let's say, gauges that the Federal Reserve looks to see if inflation is slowing down. So tomorrow is going to be the PCE index coming out in the morning. And it says that the report Friday is expected to show consumer price increases have decelerated in May. Forecasters expect inflation as measured by the Personal Consumption Expenditures Index slowed down in May, according to a survey of economists by Dow Jones, Newswires, and the Wall Street Journal. The median forecast calls for PCE prices, it says, to have risen 2.6% over the last 12 months, down from 2.7% in April. Core inflation, which excludes the volatile prices for food and energy, likely slipped from 2.6% to 2.8%, reaching its lowest level since March of 2021 and inching toward the Federal Reserve's goal of a 2% annual rate. Slipped to 2.6% from 2.8%, so down 0.2 percentage points. All right. Again, what do they exclude from this calculation? They exclude food and energy. What are we all paying more for right now? Food and energy. And I'll share a related inflation statistic with you that I was not aware of. I was reading another article this morning, and it's not the article I want to share with you. You guys can pull it up. It's on Zero Hedge. It's entitled "Another Blow to the Housing Market." But the article started discussing the cost of insurance and how the costs of home insurance has skyrocketed over the past year or more, and how it continues to go up exponentially. The article discussed how auto insurance prices have gone through the roof and continue to increase exponentially. And I can tell you from my personal experience, I've seen a drastic increase in both. It is off the charts. So here's the one point I want to share with you. And we know about the CPI, Consumer Price Index, which is another inflation gauge that gets released every month and the Fed looks at as well. And so in the basket of items that are included in the CPI index report, what is excluded from that, which I had no idea, is auto insurance and home insurance. So you have, on the CPI report, you have auto and home insurance not being looked at all in the basket. And for the PCE index calculation, you don't have, for the core PCE, they are not including fuel, and they're not, energy or food. So you exclude energy, food, and insurance. And then you come out and say, look, the inflation is going down. Everything is fine. When in reality, guys, that's not what is happening, all right? So I thought that you would hopefully appreciate that. Let's keep a watch on tomorrow morning's report and see if there is anything shocking to the upside or the downside. We all know that everything is always unexpected. I wouldn't be surprised if that report comes out hot. Obviously I don't have a crystal ball, but let's see what happens. The next brief data point I want to share with you today, the continuing jobless claims came out this morning. Zero Hedge says continuing jobless claims rise to the highest since 2021. What are continuing jobless claims? Those are claims of people that don't have work. They're unemployed and they're having to continue to reapply for unemployment benefits, okay? So let me share with you, this is the number of Americans filing for jobless benefits for the first time. Initial jobless claims dipped from a revised 239,000 to 233,000 last week. However, continuing claims for jobless benefits continues to rise, hitting the highest since November of 2021 at 1.839 million Americans. And the overall trend, it says, in the initial claims is also clearly heading higher. So there are a lot of people in this country hurting, a lot of people unemployed, a lot of people can't find work, a lot of people are relying on these jobless benefits to get by, put food on the table. But the statistic is very, very disheartening that you have that number hitting the highest since November of 2021, coming up now on literally almost 3 years, a solid 2.5 years ago, all right? We had to go back that far when we had this high a number of jobless claims, continuing jobless claims in the United States. So expect for it to get worse. Expect to see more people losing their jobs. I sure hope that you guys are doing your best to fortify your own situation and do not count on your 9-to-5 day job being there when you get up tomorrow morning or the next day or the next day. It would be, I think, from my perspective, a foolish assumption for you to make on your part. You need to, I'm not barking at you. I suggest, let's use that word as opposed to need. I would suggest that you explore some alternatives, some backups. So if you do find yourself without a job, laid off, that you have something to fall back on. You have some kind of alternative source of revenue that you can rely on. Or if, let's say, your spouse or someone in your family loses their job, okay? It doesn't just pertain to you. You could have other pressures put upon you and your family from those around you that suffer these these job losses, okay? The last story I'll share with you today is regarding the housing market in Texas. I saw a story this morning on Newsweek. We all know that Texas has been one of the states that has been going up the most in terms of the amount of building in that state. I was out there, I guess it's been well over a year now, maybe even a year and a half, with Jeremiah Babe and with Aaron from Texas Silver. And we were noticing that every corner in this area outside a more rural area in Texas was being built up. And I remember JB and I saying to each other, this is going to crash. This is going to be a nightmare when you have all these, all this overbuilding going on. Well, let me share with you the story from Newsweek today. It says Texas homeowners are struggling to sell their properties as the state's market is flooded with new inventory, and mortgage rates remain high according to recent data from real estate websites. there were a total of 223,009 properties listed for sale on Zillow in Texas as of early Thursday, including single and multifamily homes, townhomes, condos, apartments, and lots. Of these, 70,501 have been on the market for at least 30 days, 150,580 for at least 90 days, and 191,923 of those properties have been on the market for at least 6 months. Over 222,000 Texas properties listed for sale on Zillow have remained on the market for a staggering 36 months. Okay, 36 months, 3 years. All right. Redfin data shows that there were 153,394 homes for sale in Texas in May. That's up 24.5% compared to a year earlier. And the number of newly listed homes was 46,530, up 11% year on year. According to Redfin, while listing times are going down during home buying season, properties are still staying on the market longer than they used to. The median number of days on the market for a property in Texas was 42 days in May. That's up 6 days year over year, according to the real estate brokerage. It says let's talk about nationally. That's Texas. I was just talking to a banker friend of mine, and I was sharing with him this data. I said, look, Texas is going to implode. There's no way you can have that much inventory hitting the market when prices are staying high, rates are staying high, and inventory is growing. You're just going to have, it's going to keep going in that wrong direction. The national level, the number of residential homes for sale, 153,394 in May, has also increased by 24.5% year on year. Redfin recently reported that 61.9% of listings in the country have become stale, meaning they have been sitting on the market for at least 30 days. That number, guys, by the way, cannot be accurate. The number of residential homes for sale in May at the national level has to be more than 153,000. But anyway, if anyone can fact check me on that, it may be a misprint. It says it's a big change from the booming years of the pandemic, and a sign that at least in Texas, the market is changing in favor of buyers. Only 15.9% of homes in Texas sold above their list price in May, right? So you have many more houses on the market, and that is also forcing prices to come down. So only 15.9% of homes in Texas sold above the list price in May, down 5 percentage points compared to a year earlier. The number of listings that had a price reduction grew to 34.7% in May, up from 29% a year earlier. And of course, the article says, well, this is great news for home buyers in Texas. Jump on board. You know what? If you lived through the last real estate crisis, which I did, people that were jumping on board got their asses handed to them, okay? Because the prices kept sliding, and they kept sliding, and they slid some more. So you don't let these people convince you, the realtors and the mortgage people. And look, they're the first ones, by the way, that run to the bankruptcy court when the bottom falls out, because they don't ever plan for a rainy day. Tomorrow is always going to be better than today. Values are going to keep going up. Again, if you're a realtor or a mortgage person, and you're speaking honestly to your people, then look, I commend you for doing that. But those that aren't, unfortunately, that probably will catch up with them. I'm not hating on realtors, not hating on mortgage people. I have a lot of friends of mine that are realtors and in the mortgage business and the escrow business, but it's just a fact. I talked to a good bankruptcy lawyer of mine not too long ago, and she said that from her practice, the overwhelming majority of bankruptcies, when you start to see these slides, is obviously from people in the industry, right? The realtors, the mortgage people, the escrow people. I mean, I still see around this town several escrow offices that have been closed and remain empty since the 2008, 9, and 10 real estate crisis. So very sad. We're embarking on the next huge wave of this. So I hope that everyone will pay attention, If you're on the sidelines deciding where to jump in and buy a house right now, do your own due diligence, get your own advisors. I'm not giving you financial advice or legal advice, but I would be very, very careful right now doing that. I'm going to be starting a business and moving forward to capture some rental property, but not now. The time is not now, but I'm going to keep bringing the stuff to you. Okay, so I said short. Now we're at 20 minutes. I apologize. I've been these last few days getting a bit longer than usual. Hope you stuck around because I think the information is valuable. Again, thank you all for being here. I'll be getting a workout here in about an hour. I hope all of you will do the same. Get your steps in, your strength training today. Keep that exercise, physical fitness routine as consistent as you possibly can. Consistency is the key. You can't decide to be a hero for 2 days of the week and then be a slob and sit around the other 5 days of the week and eat chips and drink soda. It just doesn't work that way, okay? So I'm a daily guy. I take 1 day off a week, but on that day off, I still don't do it. I still don't just sit on the couch. I'm always moving, always active. So with that being said, appreciate you being here, and I will try to touch base. I'll have my trial starting tomorrow. Judge is going to call the case. We're going to report ready for trial. We don't pick the jury tomorrow. That would be Monday if there's a courtroom available. But the parties have to go to a one final shot at a mediation, mandatory, to see if the case can resolve. So if I'm not able to check in tomorrow, I'll try to see you all over the weekend. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye.